Why is cryptocurrency so compelling? I often refer to it as going down the rabbit hole, like the cartoon Alice in Wonderland, where she's chasing the rabbit. She goes into the burrow or whatever it's called in the tree, and she falls down the rabbit hole. And isn't that where we're at? We're falling down the rabbit hole because when we get started understanding what is going on with the technology behind Bitcoin and what it's led to, it's like going down a rabbit hole that never seems to end. The reason it never seems to end is because there's some greater efficiencies that can be brought to the market because of cryptocurrency. So at first we're like, oh, Bitcoin is a replacement for gold. And we look into it and find out, oh, you know what? In many ways it is. That's amazing. And then we get a hold of this thing called blockchain, and we get a hold of, wow, smart contracts with Ethereum. And then we learn that Ethereum is fantastic, but boy, it's so slow and it's so expensive on its transaction costs. Oh, there's all these other projects who are hoping to come out and replace Ethereum, and we go down this rabbit hole and realize that there's so much involved here and that there are greater efficiencies being brought to the market and greater transparencies because of cryptocurrency. So I don't know about you, but I am right in the middle of tumbling down this rabbit hole that seems to have no end, and if you're here watching this video, you're probably right along with me, so welcome. I'm Jay Murph with the Crypto Rain channel, and today I want to talk about a project that I'm interested in finding out a lot more. Now, through some of my network, I've been really dialing into the projects that are coming down the pipe. Now, why am I doing that? Well, we are in the middle of a rebound in this pullback, right? So we had a really big pullback in the last week and a half, and boy, it hurts. Now, I've been in this space for a while, and even being in this space, that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. It still hurts. Still frustrating watching those numbers happen. Now, if you're brand new, it's extremely frustrating. In fact, it's very, very scary the first time you go through this. So hopefully you resisted the freak out and panic sell attacks that most people have, that they then exit the whole space. Now, if you're here watching this video, you probably survived that and you didn't decide to go ahead and exit the whole space, but it might still be on your mind because it's scary. And this is the time that real fortunes are made, because if it does rebound from here and we still have plenty of bull market left, like I suspect, well, then later this year and even mid next year, we'll have some amazing gains if it plays out like that. Now, I don't know how it'll actually play out. That's just what I suspect will happen. And I'm usually right on those things. But do note there is a difference between usually right and always right, because I don't have that magic crystal ball. So I can tell you that I've been involved in crypto for 4 years, and it has made absolute life-changing wealth for me, and it can for each of you. Now, it has to do with the better decisions you make. And how do you make good decisions? Well, unfortunately, you're always bad at investing before you're good. And as long as you're, using money that you can't afford to lose, hopefully they won't be completely crippling mistakes that you make, because you're bound to make some mistakes in this. I have. And even though I've been an investor in other aspects of investing for 20 years, when I came to cryptocurrency 4 years ago, I made a lot of mistakes, and I just don't make those mistakes anymore. So you can accomplish that same thing. Now, one of the things I did is I committed to a longer term with this, that I wasn't here just for, the next 2 months or the next 6 months. I decided I was going to be here for like the next 10 years, maybe 15 years. And then hopefully after that, I'll own an island somewhere so that I can decide exactly where I want to be, but that I was making a longer term commitment to this. And hopefully you're making that commitment for yourself. Because like I share with my viewers on a regular basis, it's hard to make life-changing wealth your very first cycle. Number one, you're new and you're going to make some rookie mistakes. Number two, because those rookie mistakes are going to cost you in some ways, and you shouldn't be using money that you can't afford to lose. So unless you have already life-changing wealth set aside that you can put into crypto, but you're still playing with money you can't afford to lose, there's a chance that it could go well enough for you that you achieve life-changing wealth in one cycle. It's just not very likely. But if you make the commitment to be here and learn and stay for 2 cycles, then likely in 2 cycles you can do very, very well. And in 3, well, if you haven't made life-changing wealth, then you're not learning from your lessons very well. So what am I thinking about? Instead of thinking about, oh my gosh, my portfolio is down, I'm back in research mode on some of the projects that will be coming out. Now, my best guess is we still have plenty of bull run left. That we're halfway through it. This pullback and correction has been healthy. This isn't unprecedented. This happened in 2013 with even a much bigger pullback than this. And then still later that year, it had a tremendous parabolic move, which I don't know if that parabolic move, I still think it's coming. I just don't know if it's going to end up playing out this year or next year, or maybe there's two parabolic moves ahead before this bull market then turns into a bear market. And we once again enter what I call crypto winter. Crypto winter is another great time to really be delving in the research, learning and growing. So because it's hard to be delving into too much research as everything's going crazy, right? So I've been delving into research on a lot of the projects that are up and coming. And so I've read over 150 white papers in the last 4 weeks, and I'm sharing some of those that were my very favorite, and this is one of them. This is Drife. Now, I can't say I know everything about Drife and understand everything about Drife. Essentially, it's using blockchain technology to bring cheaper prices to consumers and better money for the drivers, which is exactly what blockchain is good at. So I'm really looking forward to that. I do like short names. The F versus the V, like Drife, Drive obviously would be much better, but I'm sure that name is, taken. They couldn't get it. So Drive, okay, that makes sense. I would love to hear from the team what the F is related to. I'm sure they have something they're thinking of. Obviously, decentralizing ride-hailing experiences, right? Well, that's what we're interested in. No commissions. They often talk about commissions in the white paper, but because I've never driven for for Uber or Lyft, I don't know exactly what they mean by commissions. What I think is that's talking about the amount that the driver has to split with Lyft or Uber. I don't know. As well as, probably referring to some of the older taxi model, they might have to pay commissions to the person that owns the taxi company themselves. So market dictated pricing like that, et cetera, et cetera. So their website is pretty clean, really nice website, well done. They do have a link right at the top to their white paper. This is their white paper. I wanted to read you one part of it. Skyrocketing commission. Ride-hailing platforms are known for charging high commissions from the drivers from the total fare for every ride. However, there's no standard rate of commission charged, and it has increased over the years from a range of 5 to 8% to 25 to 30%. The commission is also varied per ride without informing the driver or justifying it. That would be very frustrating to be a driver, to be in that situation. Now, I do have a friend that has driven for both Uber and Lyft, and a few other friends that have driven for them, but one, I know her situation pretty well, and she then, she had to stop driving from them so often because the profits kept going down and down, and so then she was only driving during peak hours so that it was worth her time, and so she had to wait and drive like from 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night to 2 in the morning. And thankfully, she was in a big city in the United States that it had a university close by, and so she was frequently driving there and even sometimes shuttling people to the airport during those peak hours so that she could make it worth her time because she had another job. But this was for spending money, and it just was at first doing very well, but as they continued to decrease what she made on each ride, well, then she only made it worth her time when she was driving during peak hours. Now, I don't know, there probably are other companies. I'm not familiar with China and exactly who the major players are there, or India, Europe. So I can't say for much of Europe what's going on with this, but I can see blockchain and cryptocurrency and the fact that everyone has a phone and a phone app being able to really give Uber, I keep saying Uber and Lyft a run for their money. And so I'm excited about this. Now, I don't know that this will do well. I just strongly suspect it will do well. Some of the reasons I suspect it is one of the things I do is I look at their team. It's like, okay, they are putting a lot of money into this. Look at this development team. It's substantial. Number two, Kyle Chasse is known in this industry. He's been in space for a very long time. He leads Paid Network. They leads the Ignition Launchpad. Also, his company, Master Ventures, is in this, and many of the ones that they back do exceptionally well. Most of them do pretty well to accept, really pretty much almost always do pretty well to exceptionally well. So that caught my attention there. So that made sense to me. Also, AU21 Capital or AU21 Capital and GD10 Ventures. This one I often see on many of the projects that do well. So that caught my attention. That helped me think, okay, obviously they're in a space that there is a lot of, this could be very profitable and work out very well. Now, will it? Well, it helps me seeing who is invested in them and that Kyle is on their advisors, because that'll lead to a better chance at success by a lot. He's well connected and can connect them up to a lot of the right people in this space. All right, so they do have online, well, where did I get this? I don't know if I can share this. This comes from my backend connection. I don't know if I can share the link to this necessarily, but I'll share with you the information in this. This is talking about the problem, man in the middle, skyrocketing commissions. Existing aggregators charge 20 to 35% of the trip values commission. We kind of read through that. Platform dictated pricing, where there's a lack of transparency in the black box fair pricing model, which has led to concerns about whether these platforms artificially manipulate their prices. No user loyalty, closed governance. Listen to this. Value creators are unduly controlled and suppressed by hegemonic practices within these centrally governed platforms. Now, it's not every day you get to use the word hegemonic, so I just had to read that part because I don't know. That's a great word, hegemonic. Lack of transparency and freedom makes sense to me. The stuff that they're describing is stuff that, my friend, I watch her go through. Okay, no commissions. I think this has to do with, like, if you want to drive for a certain area, you might pay, because they have some kind of franchise system that I don't fully understand. You might just pay them, if you're a driver, a subscription to them, so they're making money like that. If you think about the overall overhead, it would be pretty low. So even the franchise owner, like, really, what is his overhead? And so maybe the drivers then pay a subscription cost to the person that owns that franchise, and the owning the franchise has something to do with staking the token. Don't understand all those metrics yet. So what it's supposed to mean is that it ends up costing the end consumer even less for rides, as well as the drivers keeping more money in their pocket. And that's what has my attention about this. All right, so they do have a different driver app than the rider app, which you can just see some previews here, and that makes sense. And somehow you can do referrals. Okay, cool. Patent pending fair pricing model. All right, so great. First franchise NFT minted for running operation in Bangalore, India. They are doing a test there very soon, and they have some people set up for that. All right, so franchisee, or I don't understand all of this yet. Sometimes I learn better by having somebody explain it to me, which is why I reached out to the team. I'd really like to discuss with them and get to know this better. Blockchain implementation, why and how, why they're setting up the company, why they think there's a need for it, and how that will come into play. Great. This is talking about the token, DRF, I guess their token. Engage in platform governance, pay platform subscription fee, and available discounts on rides. Participate in the Drife franchise ecosystem by staking, earn share profits by delegating tokens to a franchise. That's interesting. So that you can take your tokens, delegate them to a franchise, and earn a share of the profits. I like that kind of stuff in the tokenomics. All right, so talking about overall ride-hailing market is expected to be $385 billion, and so this is why they think it's going to be worth their while to go into this space. In the competitive landscape, so Uber has different types of cars available, platform-dictated pricing, yes, whereas Drive has no. Incentivized participation, Drife has yes. Everyone else has no. Subscription plans, yes. Transparency and freedom in choosing, yes. Governed by a DAO, yes. And all these other ones, no. So they're comparing themselves to Uber, Ola, Lyft, Grab, and a local taxi. Community outreach. This was interesting. Network of 8,000 drivers participating in the project surveys and reviews executed by Drife. 10,000 independent drivers and 5 fleet owners with 10,000 plus vehicles and drivers ready to onboard onto the platform. Ding, ding, ding. So I don't know more about that than what I'm reading here, but obviously it has my attention. Now, you can have the best idea in the world, and sometimes it doesn't come together if the team does not know how to execute. And do they know how to execute? I can't say I know that. I suspect that. I don't know that. I do like that Kyle Chasse is one of their advisors. He's extremely, extremely picky on which projects he backs, and obviously he does extensive vetting with them beforehand. So that tells me that they've made it through his vetting process. All right. So this is a little bit of their roadmap. You know, we're in Q2 here. Private sale, public sale, exchange listing, which I haven't heard anything on. Pilot launch in Bangalore, India with 2,000 drivers and 20,000 riders. Great. Stake pool launch later this year. Franchise applications open. Then Q4, platform governance enabled. Franchisee start operations and aid governance. Franchise launch in Tier 1 cities in India and globally in 2022. Interesting. Okay, perfect. Here's the team. I don't know any of them. So I didn't. Yeah, it looks like many of them, I can't tell. I don't know exactly where they're out of. If Bangalore is where their thing is coming from, then maybe they're out of India. Cool. All right, I just thought I'd bring you more details on this. I know some of you asked me more about it. This is what I have. I wish I had more. We'll see if the team gets back to me. I'd love to have them come on and speak to you so I can bring you more information on them. With that said, I'm going to leave you with Manuela, who's made a song for all you Rainmakers out there. The Rainmakers are the ones that like and support this channel and help it grow. Look, I don't know everything. I'm new at making YouTube videos. I've only been doing it for 5.5 months. I've been an investor for a long time in my life. I think like an investor, not because I invented any of the way I think. I literally just found people that were successful at it, and I learned the way they thought about things, and wouldn't you know, after a while, I started to have some of their successes. And so it's as simple as that, you know, and you're always bad before you're good, so why not take the time to get good, right? So do you think successful investors make better choices in what they buy versus people who are brand new? Yeah, they do. But you have to start somewhere. So why not be in this space? Why not give yourself room to learn? Why not never invest money that you can't afford to lose? Otherwise, it'll wreck you and you'll be out of this game permanently. That's a terrible idea. With that said, all of this, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I wouldn't even want to be, because everyone's goals and decisions and what risk they're comfortable with is different. I'm just telling you the decisions I'm making, why I'm making them, the research that I'm coming across, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and hopefully that adds some good value to you. And if so, I'd love it if you subscribe to the video and like my videos. That helps this channel grow. It helps give me reach into better and better projects, so that as you help this channel grow, I can help bring you better information. So thanks for all of you who have joined me in that vision, and we will see you soon. Manuela, take it away.
Success is falling, flowing like rain. The timing's right, we're getting paid. Come on, Rainmakers, let's make this happen.